What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. How y'all doing out there on this Wednesday hump day? I hope y'all doing good. I'm doing good myself. You know, anytime we approaching the weekend, getting closer to Friday, I'm always pretty much in good spirits. Well, this story right here is about a former Minneapolis officer guilty in deadly shooting of Justine Damond. I guess that's her name. This happened about a couple years ago. You know, it's a flip side thing, if you understand where I'm coming from. Let's check this video out, and then I'll get into my commentary.
Minneapolis, where a jury has just found a police officer guilty in the shooting death of an unarmed woman. Dean Reynolds is at the courthouse for us. Dean.
Jeff, after a 21-day trial, Mohammed Noor, the former Minneapolis police officer, was convicted in the shooting death of Justine Damond back in 2017. The jury found him guilty of third-degree murder and manslaughter, but acquitted him on a second-degree murder charge. It took 2 years to get here. Their lives intersected for a brief minute in a dark alley. An unarmed, barefoot woman in her pajamas looking for help, and a police officer responding to her 911 call. On July 15, 2017, Justine Damond called to report a possible sexual assault near her home. Mohammed Noor testified he and his partner drove down the alley with their lights off in search of a suspect. He said that while the car was stopped, he heard a loud slap on the side of his squad car, and Damond suddenly appeared outside the driver's side window. Fearing for his partner's life, Noor said he fired at Damond from the passenger seat. The question was always whether the jury believed that slap actually happened. The case tested the legal limits of a state law that allowed for the use of deadly force if a threat was perceived. Throughout the 3-week trial, Noor was stoic. But the shooting shook the city to its core. Protesters marched, the police chief was fired, the mayor was quickly voted out. During closing arguments, Noor's attorney slapped the lectern to simulate the sound that allegedly startled the officers. Prosecutors said the slap never happened, and none of Damond's DNA was found on the car, which was washed days after the incident. After the verdict was read aloud, Noor was handcuffed and led away. He is now in custody, and he could face as much as 25 years in prison on the murder charge alone. Jeff?
Dean, thank you.
Now, as y'all seen, he couldn't use the proverbial "I feared for my life." And driving in a dark alley as a police officer, you understand, with your lights off, and if something were to, I don't know, strike the car like he said that happened, it would scare the hell out of him. Maybe he did fear for his life. You see what I mean? See? You see the hypocrisy in that. And see, they want to give him 25 years for actually, fearing for his life. I mean, I think that's basically what happened. I think he was startled. You know what I'm saying? Probably thought it was the suspect, that the woman had reported was an actual rape, that they were, back there looking for, and then on top of that, it was just an accident, mistaken identity, that could have been argued, but no, they didn't use that for him. And just like this situation with Amber Geiger, squirrel face ass, I can't stand that bitch. I don't even like looking her in her face. You know what I mean? When I see her pictures, she's disgusting. That is a phone call that she made after she went in that man Botham Jean's apartment and murdered him. Oh man, the theatrics just showed. I mean, you can hear it. I made a mistake. I went in the wrong part. She just wore that out. You understand? I mean, she just wore that out. But let's just see how this plays out with her ass. You know what I mean? I'm going to say this. Something definitely needs to happen if she gets off. Something really, really bad needs to happen in this country if she gets off. I'm just going to say that. Because to me, if they let her off, it's a test run for them to want to come and do whatever the hell they want to do. To us as a people and U.S. citizens. That's just the way it is. See? And then I'm hearing a situation in New York City about Mayor de Blasio talking about some, it's got something to do with the vaccination shots. And talking about some, we, own your bodies, the state of New York or whatever, own your body, pretty much telling them people they can do what the fuck they want to do to them. No, you can't. You see what I mean? We're gonna have to get ready, because these bastards and overstepped. They've been did it. They've been done it. They reprobate ass. And they think they can do what the hell they want to do to people and go on living and think nothing's gonna come down on them, which it will come down on them. Oh, and let me say this before I get into the story. In that video, and to excuse the way it kept freezing, I don't know why it does that sometimes. It could be rather annoying. But did y'all see when they was out there, protesting with the little justice signs and shit? You see what I'm saying? Now, when it's plain to see, that could have been an accident. But when it's plain to see that when the shoe's on the other foot and some cop just shoots a man, black man that's actually compliant, where do they ass be at then? Where do they be at then with their justice signs and their tears? See? Well, that's my rant on the situation. Let's get into the story. Minneapolis AFP, a U.S. police officer who shot dead an Australian woman in 2017, was found guilty of murder Tuesday by a Minneapolis jury. Mohammed Noor, 33, was fired from the Midwestern city's police force, was convicted of third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. The jury was handed the case Monday after 3 weeks of testimony from dozens of witnesses, acquitted the former officer of the most serious charge of second-degree murder with the intent to kill. Noor was handcuffed and taken out of the courtroom in custody, according to U.S. media reports. Well, I don't understand what the acquitted, it looked like to me if he was acquitted on the second degree murder charge, he should have been acquitted, period. Noor testified in court that he shot Justine Damond, an Australian who had moved to the U.S. to protect his partner because he had feared an ambush when responding to Damon's emergency call. And like I said, that could be very well true, But prosecutors insisted that the shooting was unreasonable and contrary to police department training policies. Noor targeted Damond from the passenger seat of the police cruiser he was in with his partner, Matthew Hardy. The 40-year-old victim, a yoga instructor, had approached the cruiser after calling 911 twice to report a possible rape in the dark alley behind her home. No such assault was ever found to have occurred. Well, what was that all about? Was it some kind of ambush setup? I mean, really, Prosecutors Amy Sweesey countered that Noor violated Minneapolis police training policies and endangered the lives of his partner and an eyewitness teenage cyclist. He pulled the gun, he pointed, he aimed and killed her, Sweesey said. This is no accident. This is intentional murder. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that's intentional murder. It looked like to me there should be an appeal. You know, sounds like as well too, while they was riding down that alley with the lights off, he already had the gun, already pulled just in case of some sort of ambush. That's what it sounds like to me. It seems that way. It could have went that way. See? Defense attorney Peter Wold told jurors the former officer was heartbroken over the shooting. Noor testified that he believed there was an imminent threat after he saw a cyclist stop near the police cruiser, heard a loud bang, and saw Harity's reaction to the person on the driver's side raising her right arm. And this, keep in mind, folks, it was dark in that alley. Okay? Keep in mind. Yeah, he needs to appeal this. Noor added that when he reached from the cruiser's passenger seat and shot Damond through the driver's side window, it was because he thought his partner would have been killed. He said that after Damond approached the cruiser, his partner screamed, "Oh, Jesus," and began fumbling to unholster his gun. So it was a case of fear. And why did his partner testify in his defense? To even, collaborate his story. That's another question, Then Noor said he saw a blonde woman wearing a pink t-shirt raising her right arm at the driver's window, identified her as a threat, and fired. Damond had moved to the Midwestern city to marry her American fiancé, Don Damond. She had changed her name from her maiden name to Risnick. Okay. Yeah. Now, this happened in Minneapolis. Okay. Why can I remember that name? That was the same where it's just been so many of our brothers been murdered by the hands of cops. And I'm sitting here and my mind has drawn a blank to the other man. His name was where the cop, where he told them he had a conceal and carry permit, and he was reaching to show him that, and that damn cop murdered him. You understand? And his name is on the tip of my tongue right now, and I cannot remember it, people. But you know who I'm talking about. Where was these bastards at? These prosecutors saying that the bastard who murdered him, where it was with him, Philando Castile. That's his name. Oh, thank you, Father. Philando Castile. When Philando Castile said that he had a conceal and carry permit, and he was just reaching to show him that he had it, or what have you, and the guy just pulled a gun and murdered him. Now, that right there was murder. Okay? Where was these prosecutors, Sweezy, whatever her name is, where was she at talking about that wasn't proper procedure for police training? He broke, police training and all that. Okay? You see that? But of course, we know in this situation, it's the complexion of the skin that makes the difference between these two officers. Now, like I said, driving down a dark alley where it's a possible setup far as an ambush go, I can understand that this man right here may have overreacted out of fear for his life and his partner's life. As we see too, in the story that his partner Harity even reacting in fear. Hell, he probably, if he had got his hands, on his gun, he might have shot himself. He was that scared. He said, "Oh, Jesus," just like that. When the woman came out of the dark and hit on the car. Okay? But we know what this is about. This is straight unfair right here. You know what I mean? And there should be an appeal and a retrial, and this man right here should be set free. If the murderer of Philando Castile can be set free, guess what? This man can be set free too. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this situation right here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And this is James, and I'm out. Peace.